some good music here. So y'all welcome up Bill Cade.
Ah, thank you, thank you. Let me see how this go together here. Bionic folk music. Ah, there we go. All right. Me and his friend named the Street Life Brown, we bought a bottle of red and we walked uptown. One hand on the jug, one on time. He said, I bet you $1 against this next line. I said, don't let that sunshine fool you, and don't let the bluebirds tool you, and don't let them women do you. Put your hand in mine. Now advice is fine if you've got the mind to listen to those that have got the time, but the muse will get you if you don't watch out. You know he's equipped to know what it's all about. I said, don't let that sunshine fool you, don't let the bluebirds tool you, and don't let them women do you. Put your hand in mine. Now Fannin Street on the afternoon, it's a mighty good way to get a tune. But the hard soap salesman said no dice when I asked politely for a better price. He said, don't let that sunshine fool you, don't let the bluebirds tool you, and don't let them women do you. Put your hand in mine. Now here's a song for you, child of mine. I hope that you make it through this time. Get yourself a piece of that rainbow pie. Ain't a reason in the world that you can't get by. I said, don't let that sunshine fool you, don't let the bluebirds tool you, and don't let them women do you. Put your hand in mine. Well, I said, don't let that sunshine fool you, don't let the bluebirds tool you, and don't let them women do ya. Put your hand in mine. Ah, thank you, thank you. Boy, it might scare me. Let's just kind of leave them on. Y'all can see now, right? Good. Oh, well, we're going to have a good time. We got a lot of good people. I sure am glad to be back here playing for y'all again. I like to make this announcement early on in the evening, is that if there's anything that you know that I know that you'd like for me to do, just ask for it. I'll be glad to. I know 19 songs. That's up 2 from the last time I played here. And I'll be more than glad to do it. Since you've gone, the weather's been much warmer. There's really not a lot for me to tell. Not much work here, and I've lost a pound or two. But losing things is one thing I do well. And I'd miss you if I knew what I was missing. And I'd call you if I just knew what to say. I'm still buying gin when I can buy it. I sure bought a lot of it today. And I still never win, but I'd like to try it. And I'd still take you back if you would stay. Oh, you'd do it if you knew what you were doing. And I'd tell you if I just knew what to say. But I'm not doing as bad as it might seem, love. Even though I'm slipping, I won't fall. Sometimes you're the last thing I would dream of, and sometimes you're the only thing at all. I've been warped by the rain and driven by the snow. I'm drunk and dirty, and don't you know that I'm still willing. Out on the road late at night, I seen my pretty Alice in every headlight. Alice, oh my Dallas Alice. And I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari, to Hatchapee to Tonopah, driven every kind of rig that's ever been made. I've driven on the back road so I wouldn't get weighed. And if you give me weed, whites and wine, and you show me a sign, I'll be willing to be moving. I've been robbed by the wind, and I've been kicked by the sleet, and even had my head stove in once, Lord, but I'm still on my feet. It never made me a damn bit of difference. Hell, I am still willing. Yes, I smuggled smokes and folks in from Mexico, been baked by the sun every time I go down to Mexico. And I'm still, and I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari, to Hatchapee to Tonopah, driven every kind of rig that's ever been made, driven on the back road so I wouldn't get weighed. And if you give me I like doing that kind of stuff, you know. Whew. Oh, thank you. Weed, show me a sign, I'll be willing to be moving. Yes, I'll be willing to be moving. Thank you. Couple drinks of that, and you're 9 feet tall and bulletproof. Kind of looks like something you take to the doctor, don't it? Yeah, give them a try. How many of y'all ever had a date go wrong? We all have, right? This is about that. Got a date with a high-tone girl, the one who wears those bouffant curls. She means the business when she flirts, so I polished up the Chevy with the fender skirts. I hopped in my car and I stepped on the gas. I was laying down rubber on the old bypass. Out her window she did creep, headed on out to the Lover's Leap. Made a detour by the barbecue shack. We put 12 cold beers on ice in the back. Found us a spot in the twilight zone. When the light of the police shone, he said, "Oh, you jackleg, you, I got the goods on you. And you sweetie too, I caught you in the car with the stars in your eyes and your brains in the bottom of your shoes. You're a hot dog, ain't you now? You're the Bulldog's big bow wow. You got fuzz on your face, you're the ace with the sweaty brow." Well, we headed on out to another spot, just down the road from the Dash and Dot. Saxophones are crooning on the radio, and the moon was hanging low. Fingernails are tapping on the window pane. It was her great big boyfriend, Wayne, and he said, "Oh, you ice cream, you, I got the goods on you. And my sweetie too, I caught you in the car with the stars in your eyes and your brains in the bottom of your shoes. You're a hot dog, ain't you now? You're the Bulldog's big bow wow. You got fuzz on your face, you're the ace with the sweaty brow." Dee 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 dee. Well, we were sitting in the parlor, drinking Coca-Cola, spinning the wax. She put her hair up in rollers and filing her nails on the Davenport. I thought she was ready for a little sport. I tripped on the rug, I spilled my Coke in her hair. I split the seat of my britches, put my foot through a chair. She said, "Oh, you milk dud, you, I had enough of you. And you chivied to go home in your car with the stars in your eyes and your brains in the bottom of your shoes. You're a hot dog, ain't you now? You're the Bulldog's big bow wow. You got fuzz on your face, you're the ace with the sweaty brow. You got fuzz on your face, you're the ace with the sweaty brow." Oh, a little tune called The Ace. I got family up around Lott, Texas. Y'all ever heard of Lott, Texas? It's started to become famous now, but back when I was growing up, Lott wasn't so famous. Nobody knew about it but the highway department because they had to put a road through it. And we would go up there. I was born down here, but we would go up there every once in a while and see how things were going on. And it wasn't too many years ago we were up there. And I was downtown at the general store when they had just one That's all there was, and we were all just sitting around in there having a good time, and typical country scene. When this fella pulled up outside with a horse trailer, big car, big fancy horse trailer. He came into the store and he went to Monroe, who was the proprietor there, and said, look, I'm going to a horse show. I need a horse blanket. What have you got? Monroe pulled down his horse blanket and said, well, we've got this one here. This is $10. The guy said, man, I have got a $250,000 horse out there in that trailer. I'm not putting a $10 blanket on it. Monroe pulled down another blanket. Said, this is a good one here. This is $25. Won't do. Monroe goes in the back, gets another $10 horse blanket, comes out to the front, holds it up, said, this is it. This is a $100 blanket. It's the only one I got. Guy says, I'll take it. Now, we were all sitting around wondering, because Monroe was a very religious man. He had obviously just cheated this guy. Monroe was a man who had a scripture verse for everything that happened. How is he going to do this and live with himself? Monroe came back inside counting out that $100 and looked at us and said, lo, he was a stranger, and I took him in. I got some more Lot stories. We'll get into Lot. I like Lot. They didn't even know the world was round for a long time up there. The old Lone Star Hotel Cafe was nothing but a dive, and Florence Smith showed up there, Lord, every day at 5. Now Florence, she is a waitress. Have I mentioned that before? She was serving beer to strangers and to some that she had seen before. Florence used to ride a little Appaloosa mare in the barrel race at the rodeo with all that beehive hair. There's pictures of her on the wall where you pay your check, and Lord, didn't she look good back in 1956. Now, I was loving Florence, and she was ignoring me. You see, Florence, she had experience, and it was the first time out for me. Oh, but I remember when I tried to tell her. Seems like the only words I found were, say, Florence, why don't you bring me some of them greasy enchiladas, and how about a beer to wash them down? Florence quit the Lone Star Hotel and never was seen again. Me, I quit South Texas, and I ain't been back since then. That was years ago, Lord, how many I don't recall. But I remember Florence and them pictures on the wall. Here's to you, South Texas, you old rodeo queen. How I miss your beer joints and your shuffleboard machines. Here's to you, South Texas. How I miss the smell of them greasy enchiladas at the old Lone Star Hotel. Oh, yeah, thank you. Back in 1825, I left Tennessee very much alive. Never would have got to the Arkansas mud if I hadn't been riding on my Tennessee stud. Well, I had some trouble with my sweetheart's paw, and one of her brothers was a bad outlaw. Sent her a letter by my Uncle Fudd, and I rode away on the Tennessee stud. And the Tennessee stud, he was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood, and there never was a hoss like the Tennessee stud. We loped on down into no man's land, and we crossed the river called the Rio Grande. Raced my hoss with the Spaniards both till I got me a skin full of silver and gold. Now me and a gambler, we couldn't agree, and we got in a fight over Tennessee. Jerked our guns, he fell with a thud, and I got away on the Tennessee stud. And the Tennessee stud, he was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood, and there never was a hoss like the Tennessee stud. Then I got as lonesome as a man can be, just a-dreaming of a gal in Tennessee. Tennessee stud's green eyes turned blue, 'cause he was a-dreaming of a sweetheart too. Well, we loped on back across Arkansas, and I whooped her brother and I whooped her paw. Found that girl with the golden hair, and she was a-riding on the Tennessee mare. And the Tennessee stud, he was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood, and there never was a hoss like the Tennessee stud. Well, stirrup to stirrup and side by side, we crossed the mountains and the valleys wide. Came to Big Muddy and we forded the flood on the Tennessee mare and Tennessee stud. There's a pretty little baby on the cabin floor, there's a little hoss colt playing round the door. I love the girl with the golden hair, and the Tennessee stud loved the Tennessee mare. And the Tennessee stud, he was long and lean, the color of the sun, and his eyes were green. He had the nerve and he had the blood, and there never was a hoss like the Tennessee stud. All right, thank you. If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on a harp unstrung. Would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near as it were your own? It's a hand-me-down. The thoughts are broken, perhaps they're better left unsung. I don't know, I don't really care. Let there be songs to fill the air, ripple in still waters, when there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow. Reach out your hand. If your cup be empty, if your cup is full, may it be again, let it be known. There is a fountain that was not made by the hand of man. There is a road, no simple highway between the dawn and the dark of night. If you should go, then none may follow. That path is for your steps alone. Ripple in still waters, when there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow. You who choose to lead must follow, and if you fall, then you fall alone. If you stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. La da 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 da. Y'all help me out. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da da da. Oh yeah. La da 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 da. La da da da. La da 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 da. Oh, y'all are great. She wore a satin sequin dress and her hair was red and flashy. When she walked into the room, not a one-eye did she meet. She knew her job and she did it well. She'd smile and she'd make men happy. The only man that she could never please was her poor old-fashioned pappy. He'd say to her, a woman's place is in the home. She should never ever be out on her own, no, 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 no. Caring for her man why that's where she ought to be. He would say to her, a woman's place is with her family. Oh yes, darling, with her family. Now Pappy said he didn't ask for much. He said he loved his little girl. Oh, but to see her shake and shimmy, Lord, why it was more than he could bear. He told her how that he disapproved of the way that she made men stare. The only man that she could never please was her poor old-fashioned pappy. He'd say to her, a woman's place is in the home. She should never ever be out on her own, no, 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 no. Caring for her man, why that's where she ought to be. He would say to her, a woman's place is with her family. Oh yes, darling, with her family. She listened to her pappy's words, but she couldn't follow through, 'cause she had to try all the many, many things that he never would let her do. Now the last I'd heard, she'd struck it rich in some western mining town. She had the hotel there, she had a couple of bars, she had the finest house around, and he still would say, woman's place is in the home. She should never ever be out on her own, no, 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 no. Caring for her man, why that's where she ought to be. But she would say to him, a woman's place is where she wants to be. Oh yes, Daddy, where she wants to be. Uh-huh, Daddy, where she wants to be. Oh, thank you. Happy trails to you. Sounds like all them old country western songs, doesn't it? Wine is nice on a Saturday morning, might take us all day just to get stoned, and hymns to the times that you were born in. Jesus was right on a Saturday morning. Sunday comes without a warning, and you can't get the clocks to keep that kind of time. Saturday, you know that it's all right with me to keep the kinds of friends you keep from going to the sea. Hey, Saturday, woo-hoo-hoo, you got a friend that appreciates you. Loving you, lady, on a Saturday morning makes strawberry shortcake seem kinda boring. Shortcake don't make a damn when you're around. S-A-T-U-R day, pretty mama's on her couch in her usual way. while this poor boy takes another look at calendar time. Saturday, I know that it's alright with me to keep the kinds of friends you keep from going to the sea. Hey, Saturday, woo-hoo-hoo, you got a friend that appreciates you. Ah, thank you. Yes, yes. That's great. Thank you. Well, I got time for a couple more tunes here. This is one I'd promised I would do. I've actually promised to do this 6 times, so I got to fulfill one of them. I wrote this song here. This is an old tune of mine, real old. Wrote about 12, 13 years ago now, when I went up to New York to be a star. And I ended up in Central Park with $6 in my pocket and a Phillips credit card. There's still wanted posters of me in Phillips service stations. Get this man. We did manage to make it back. So. And I wrote this song about this guy I met in Central Park. Far out. That's comfortable, ain't it? I don't try to be perfect anymore. I just try to be comfortable. I think that's the ticket. That's a little past comfortable there. Should have left that one alone. That's comfortable. One day when I was feeling down and out and all alone, the way you sometimes feel when you're far away from home, I sat down on a park bench, tried to set my mind at ease, when someone slowly walked up, sat down next to me. I turned and looked into a face that was lined and drawn and hard, a face that showed the passing of the time and all its scars. His clothes were old and ragged, his coat faded and worn. I watched him shiver and wondered if he'd ever known it warm. He told me of when he was young and of the dreams he'd had, how he got to drinking and how everything went bad, of a long-haired, laughing, dark-eyed girl that he had known, how he sobered in some dive, found she had gone. Ooh, 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 ooh. He said, now I sell balloons for nickels and for dimes. I always manage to get enough for a little wine. The drinking dulls my memory and helps me through the day. But there ain't enough wine in this whole world to drive the pain away. And as he sat there talking, his eyes filled up with tears, as dreams came rushing back across the space of 20 years. Tried to keep from shaking and he turned away from me. Looked into a past of things I hope I'll never see. I could only look at him, my body felt so weak. I wanted to say something, but my lips they would not speak. He put his tattered hat back on and picked up his balloons, and I watched him disappear into the hazy afternoon. Oh, thank you. Rain's coming down and the roof won't hold her. Well, I lost my job and I feel a little older. Car won't start and her love's grown colder. But maybe things will get a little better in the morning. Maybe things will get a little better. Well, the roads be swiping and starting crying and you're breaking my heart, and the whole damn place is a falling apart. But maybe things will get a little better in the morning. Maybe things will get a little better. Work your fingers to the bone. What do you get? Bony fingers, oh bony fingers. Oh, I'm so glad there's some of you who know that. I want all of y'all to sing on every chorus, you know. If there's somebody around who isn't singing, stare at them. I work real hard all day at my labor, then I want to go home and do my head a favor. But I find out I ain't got any papers, and maybe things will get a little better in the morning. Maybe things will get a little better. Work your fingers to the bone. What do you get? Bony fingers, oh bony fingers. Now I've been broke just as long as I remember. Every time I get some money, Lord, I gotta run to spend her. Every time I try to save it, a woman come and take it, saying maybe things will get a little better in the morning. Maybe things will get a little better. Work your fingers to the bone. What do you get? Bony fingers, oh bony fingers. Now the grass won't grow 'cause the sun's too hot, and the whole damn world is going to pot. And I might as well like you, you're all I got. But maybe things will get a little better in the morning. Maybe things will get a little better. Work your fingers to the bone. What do you get? Bony fingers, oh bony. Let's sing it like Texans. Work your fingers to the bone. What do you get? Bony fingers, oh bony fingers. Ah, that's fun. That's fun. I love doing that stuff. Shit, man, that's all right. Oh no, I'm way too drunk for Black Mountain Rag. My fingers lost feeling a long time ago. Well, I'm going to do one more tune. Guy, you brought up something I hadn't thought about. I should do those. Oh, I hope so. Hope I remember me. We'll try that one first. I'm going to come out and meet you. I can tell it's a mystery voice from the past. My past always comes back to haunt me. I don't know why that is, but it does. This is an a cappella song. A cappella. That's Italian for music in the nude. We're going to do this Tom Mitchell song. This is about a little camp where his daddy used to take him when he was a boy. First set foot on the brook trout footpath 15 years ago today. Holding out my hand a calling, hoping things might end that way. Back and forth across the footbridge, limpid waters played the tune. Simple songs I'll follow till I'm gone. Hambone holds my heart like heaven. Folks I met played simple songs. Pine tree boughs, they moved like magic. Changed my life from that day on. Back and forth across the footbridge, limpid waters played the tune. Simple songs I'll follow till I'm gone. Pack the P-row, paddle, Papa. You taught me how to love the earth. Woke me up to brook trout breakfast. Showed me what this earth is worth. Back and forth across the footbridge, limpid waters played the tune. Simple songs I'll follow till I'm gone. Hambone holds my heart like heaven. Trees I met played simple songs. Pine tree boughs, they moved like magic. Changed my life from that day on. Back and forth across the footbridge, limpid waters played the tune. Simple songs I'll follow till I'm gone. 15 years of moving sideways, 15 years of dizzy dreams, holding out my hand a calling, searching for that brook trout stream. Back and forth across the footbridge, limpid waters play the tune. Simple songs I'll follow till I'm gone. Good night. I enjoyed it a lot. We got a lot more coming up. Little break, buy some beer. We'll see you in a while.